Okay. For this warm-up, we're going to go and explore our crow and crane positions, which are very useful for yoga. But even if you don't do yoga, the way I'm going to approach it is as a step towards the press handstands. The crow variation is the one where both elbows are bent, and the crane is pretty much the ones where both elbows are straight. And there is this misconception that this one is harder, and therefore, if you can already do the one with the straight arm, you should only do this one. And that's absolutely a preconceived idea, because you can get very strong with straight arm, and then whenever you want to transition down to positions which have bent elbows, such as the crow, you won't have developed the strength for it. Bent arm strength and straight arm strength, the relationship between both of them is not linear. Not to say that you don't work on one when you work on the other, but it's not something you have to take for granted at all. And actually, one of my students who became a teacher, and who is a yoga teacher as well, can do a perfect press-up, but whenever I'm asking him to transition down to this, he loses it just because he hasn't worked it. So today we're going to explore both positions and try to understand what it takes to develop the strength around them. So, the crow is, for most people, the easiest variation. We want to sit the elbow, or what's over the elbow here, in the inner thigh. We want to push out and squeeze in with the leg. Now, the exact position of that part on your leg is going to be individual specific, so you may want to play around rather than trying to find a sweet spot. Your sweet spot might be different from mine. But the basic gist of this is I push out and I find myself in this position here. Hands are going to be a bit wider than what we have for a handstand, and this is a fulcrum. So once I find the contact between my elbow and my thighs, I want to bring my head down so that my bum can go up. And only as my bum aligns itself over the fulcrum will I make my feet so light that they might be tempted to take off. So what I want you to do right now is 5 attempts at taking off. You don't want to hold it, but when you take off, you certainly don't want to be pushing on your feet to take off. You want your alignment, just like in handstands, to be so good that your feet take off. That's what balance is. So in your own time, spreading the fingers, try to feel the fulcrum, the weight transferring from the feet to the hands, and whenever you're ready, take both feet off the floor. You shouldn't sacrifice the bent arm variation for the sake of doing this one just because you want it, because you're going to miss a very important element of strength development. Now, we do it 5 times, and when we're done, we try the same for the straight arm variation, in which the knee, but I like to sit the inside of my knee rather than the bone here, which becomes hurtful on your arm. The knee is going to sit kind of close to the armpits. And again, there are individual variations here, which might depend in between, amongst others, on your compression. But you may actually want to sit your knee on the armpits or closer to the elbow. You want to play with this. The gist of it being you want your arms to be straight. Same logic, we don't push on the feet, we keep leaning down with the head until the feet become so light that they can't take off. If it's stressful for the wrists, externally rotate your shoulders so that the fingers start facing outwards, which is what you want to be doing whenever you're doing a planche variation, where the shoulders go past the axis of the wrists. So I'm going to open my hands outwards, elbow straight, keep leaning forward until your feet can take off. Something that helps is to start higher initially. If you start low here, you're going to be more likely to bend. You want to set yourself up for success. Elbows are straight here, and you see my bum is already way higher than my head. From here, I find the sweet spots below my armpits with my knees, and from here, I keep leaning forward with my head to find my balance. So already try to find that shape where there's a diagonal between the bum and the head.